Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back today with another silhouette card. Yes, I'm doing my silhouette again. I know those of you are wondering when I'm going to go back to doing the cricket videos. I'm not going to give a definite date because I'm actually having a lot of fun using my silhouette, and it may take me a minute to go back to the cricket. So now today's card is not necessarily an easy card. It is an easy card to put together, but to actually lay the card out on your mat is going to take several steps. And once you do one, you'll have that one as a sample to make many more, and you'll also be able to do some home decor using vinyl. So, what does our card look like for today? This is the card that we will be making, and the outside of the card is just a silhouette studio file that's just one piece that you'll be cutting out, and I guarantee you these intricate cuts will cut just like butter on your silhouette. Now for the inside, I'm going to just slide this ribbon and my bow down, and I'm going to show you what you will be making for the inside. So this is the inside of our card, and this is an anniversary card for my mother-in-law and father-in-law who have been married 58 years. So come on and join me, and even if you think you're not ready to make this one, come and watch me make this card. Okay everybody, so we are going to take this one very slow, and this is probably going to be a two-part video. I'm going to show you the steps on how to put this together on your mat because there's a lot of steps involved, and then part two will be us putting the card together. So now the outside of our card is actually a Silhouette Studio file, but before we even go ahead and pull that from the Silhouette library and I give you the name, we're going to start with the hard portion first. I like to get that out of the way first. So now to do the monogram split lettering, I'm going to show you what our end result is going to be. This is what we're trying to do, and once you get this down, it actually is not that hard. And I found out about how to do this on someone else's YouTube channel, and I'm going to put a link to her video down in the description bar so that in case you didn't understand it when I do it, you can go and watch her video, and then maybe it'll help you in either situation. So let's go back to our untitled mat, and the first thing we need to do is we need to get whatever letter you're going to use on the mat. So we're going to click our text box, and we're just gonna click on the mat, and we're going to type in our letter. So our letter is P, which is for the last name, and then what I want you to do is go ahead and highlight the letter you just typed, and over here in the text style window, the font that I'm using to get the monogram is called Regal. Now that is probably not on your computer, so what I did was I went out to defont.com and picked up that font and added it to my computer. So I'll put a link to that website on in the description bar. So now that we have our letter, what I like to do is work so that I can see it, and I like to have everything filled in rather than working with the outline of it. So we're going to click the image, and we're going to go up to fill color, and we're going to fill this in. And I also want to fill in my line color as well. So now my image is all solid, and I'm going to make this even larger so that everyone can see and I can see. So now we've got our letter on here, and now what we want to do is make that split. So what you do is go over to the left here and click your draw rectangle tool, and we're just going to draw a small rectangle. It doesn't have to be that big, and you kind of want to put it where you want your split to be. So I'm just going to move this, make sure I grab the right one, move this over, and I think I'm going to have my split about right there. Now I want to make sure my line color is also filled in, so I'll do that. And you don't have to do that, I just like, it's easier for me to see. So now that we have this, we need to actually do the split. So the first thing I want you to do is go ahead and go down to the bottom here and click your select all tool, because we need to grab everything in order to do the split. And then what you'll do is go up to where it says object, and then you'll click modify, and then you'll click subtract, and then just click anywhere outside there, because now what it's going to do is it's going to split the letter. And now this does take just a few moments, depends on the speed of your computer, because what it has to do is split all of these pieces up. So what I'm going to do is once it has split, I'll come back. Okay, so now we have our letter split, but you don't want to move anything, because when it's split, everything is ungrouped now. So what we need to do is we need to grab the top half and make sure we group that together. And then we're going to grab our bottom half and make sure we group that together. So now you should have your split. I'm just going to move this up here. So now I don't want it to be just cut off like that. I want a line down at the bottom here and a line up here at the top. So once again, you will grab your rectangle, and we're going to draw a line across here, and you draw it as far over as you want, and I'm going to click that. So now I think that's where I want it. So now, rather than trying to draw this the same thickness again and making sure I have it even, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on my line, and then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click duplicate. So now I have it twice, and I can just go ahead, and you want to kind of put it not down that far, but right at the edge of it. And there you have your split letter with your line in at the bottom and the line at the top. So now we need to make sure that everything is grouped again. So this time we're going to select our first half, and we want to make sure that when we do our print and cut, that this line does not cut separate by itself. So we are going to have to weld this together. So now you can right click on here and choose weld, and what that will do is make sure that when you go to cut this, that it cuts all as one piece. And then we'll do the same thing for the bottom half. You can either right click, or I just go down to the bottom here and click weld. And now that should be welded together. Now you also want to make sure that the groupings stay the same, so I just go ahead, because you can, as you can see right here, this is not grouped together, so I just go ahead and select that and click group, and then I select the bottom half and click group. So now everything should be grouped together, and I'm ready to add my text in the middle. So I'm just gonna drag up here, and then I'll go over to my text window again, and then I'll type in my text. So I want to choose the Abilene, and I don't want it that large, so I'm going to choose the 24, and I'm going to just start typing in what I want it to say. And if I want to do some character spacing so that it stretches out, I can do that as well by clicking the character spacing. And if you decide you want to make the text larger, you can go over and make your text even larger, and then you can put it where you want it. And then I also went ahead and I added text down here at the bottom. When I put the actual wedding date, and we'll move that down. So now, once you got everything the way you want it, and you've got your writing in here, and if you decide to put writing at the bottom, you've got that in, we want to go ahead and select all of this and group it together. So we're just going to select it and click group, and now everything is together. Now I want to go ahead and change the pattern or the fill of what I want this to look like. So I'm going to click my image, and I'm going to go up to my fill pattern, and then I'm going to pick my pattern. Now your silhouette does come with several patterns. What I did was I also downloaded some, so let's make sure I can find the right one that I used. I believe it was this one. And probably should have done the group the text together. And let's see if we can add the fill pattern to that text. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry about that. It actually did add my fill pattern. I just didn't see it because I had my line color red, so I changed it to black so that you could see it. So now that is actually how you do the split letter. Now if you want to add a border around, because you need this to cut, remember this portion is going to be printed, and then you need it to cut out, and you don't want it to cut each one of these intricate cuts in the outside. You want a border around it for it to cut. So once again, you go back up to your draw tool and draw a box around it. And I'm just going to make that black real quickly. And then you can go ahead and, well, you don't want to group it just yet, because remember we're going to send it to the printer by using our print and cut. So if we go to our cut style window, you can see what I mean about the fact that it will go ahead and cut all these pieces out. So what we want to do is we're going to say no cut here, and then you're going to send this portion to your printer using the print and cut feature, and then when you're ready to do the cutting of your rectangle, you're going to click your letter and your wording and do no cut, and then you will go back and click your rectangle and click cut, and that way it will cut that into a square. So now I know that was a lot of steps to follow, and that's why I'm making this a two-part video so that you can go ahead and follow the steps to do your monogram. So now the other thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and add our outside part of our card. So I'm going to get out of the cut style window so we can go out to the silhouette library or my library, and just real quickly I'm going to group this together. You would ungroup it once you do your cut and print, or your print and cut. So if we go out to our library, the card or the outside of the card is called Card Wrap Square Flowers. So I'm going to double click it, and as you can see, it brought it in on my mat. So I'm going to move it over. Well, actually we're going to move this off the mat, because the size that it comes in is, I want to make it larger. Now it's taking a minute to get it over here, so there we are. I want this to be a little bit larger than what it is, so I'm actually going to give you the measurement as to what size I made mine. You make yours whatever size you want. If you want to make it the size that it comes in as, then you will need to go in and reduce your monogram. So I've made it, the width is 9.815, and I've made the height the same thing, 9.815. And I just chose that because I wanted to fill up the entire 12 by 12 sheet of paper, so I kind of just decided to make it that big. And I actually didn't come up with those numbers, I just kept dragging the handles until I got what I wanted. So now we need this to fit in here. So first of all, what I want to do is just rotate this. I think I'll just use the handles. Move this over. And sometimes I find when I use the mouse, it wants to do its own thing. So I want it that way because I want to put that square in there so it fits. So I drag it over, and then I grab my handles and I just kept resizing till I got it to fit within there. And just keep resizing. So I'm going to give you the actual measurement. So I'm going to go back to my card. It's already completed, and this is my card insert. And so the measurements for this are, your width is going to be 6.405 and your height is going to be 6.425, and that will make it fit within your square. So now my last thing that I want you to put on your mat, if you're making this card along with me, is I decided to add a happy anniversary on my envelope for this card. So now what I've done is I've used one of BirdsCards. She calls it bendable card. I just wanted just this piece of it, so we're going to go ahead and I will put a link to her website where you can get this. So I've already got it open here, and it opens up like this, and this is the piece that I wanted. Now this is not grouped together, so what I did, don't grab the wrong one, is I grabbed this and I grouped it together, and then I right click and did a copy, and I just added it on there. Move this out of the way. Oops. And as I said, sometimes because I have so much intricate pieces here, So then what I did was I just put it in there, and I liked it because I knew my envelope was going to have to be at least this size here in order for the card to fit. So I just kept the size that it came in as. If you want to make yours larger, you can. So that's it, everybody. I know that was a lot of steps, so that's why I said I was making it a two-part video. Once you actually lay it out and cut it out, the card is easy to put together. It's just doing the steps to do the monogram piece. And I kind of gave you the measurements, so that should help you. The hardest part is getting the steps to split the letter. So go ahead and lay everything out on your mat, do your split lettering, and then once you've cut it out, meet me back for part 2 and we'll put our card together.